In 1915, Jiang Zemin's grandfather, Jiang Shixi, a doctor of Chinese medicine, ventured into business. Jiang Shixi had 7 children. The eldest child, Jiang Shijun, was Jiang Zemin's father. Jiang Zemin has an older sister, Jiang Zifen, and a younger sister, Jiang Zinan, and a younger brother, Jiang Ziquan. In 1940, Wang Jingwei set up the puppet Japanese government in Nanjing. He was in need of much manpower, and a range of talents, from ministers to clerks. It's for this reason that brazen intellectuals, crooked merchants, jobless has-been politicians and former officials swarmed to Nanjing. So did Jiang Zemin's father, Jiang Shijun. He was appointed as a vice minister in the Ministry of Propaganda, and made the head member of the institution's editorial committee. He also worked under Hu Lancheng, the main staff writer of the China Daily. He was in charge of the daily operation in the ministry. He feared that his work for the Japanese could come back to haunt him, therefore, changed his name to Jiang Guanqian. Both literature and electrical engineering were hobbies for Jiang Shijun, and he devoted much time to the two pursuits, working for the Japanese. Jiang Shijun had also made a careful study of Nazis' propaganda tactics. He single-handedly organized a so-called exhibition of military successes, in the Pacific region of the Great Crusade of East Asia, in which he applied the propaganda techniques he had learned, and his knowledge of electrical engineering, so as to depict, fully with sound and light effects, air and naval warfare, between the US and Japan, suggesting the Japanese Army's Bushido spirit, and symbolizing the permanent military power the Army enjoyed. Through all of this, the audience would be given the impression that the Japanese invaders were unconquerable, and would forever occupy China. Jiang Shijun used to make an annual show of cultural patronage by holding a grand ceremony in honor of Confucius. He would orchestrate a performance consisting of, as prescribed by Confucian doctrines, 8 roles of dancers, follow the rites, as prescribed for a king in the Book of Rites, and offer 3 sacrifices of pork, beef and lamb, and after the ceremonies, mince the 3 sacrifices and send them to officials in the ministries and bureaus of the puppet Japanese government. He also employed the folk-style propaganda. He reworked a Buddhist folk tradition, the Feast of All Souls festival, for his own purposes, organized a grand version of the festival, that had lanterns floating on local waters, and found in it means to falsely suggest peace and prosperity, in the aftermath of, and so as to help people forget, the terrible Nanjing massacre, only a few years before. Spectators were anesthetized to the grim historical reality, so recent still, perpetrated at the hands of the Japanese regime. He published a children's picture book, entitled A History of British-American Aggression Against China, intending to stir up hatred towards the two nations, while eulogizing the greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere. Along with this, Jiang Shijun helped to plan the production of A Legacy That Will Live Forever, a movie, the goal of which was to bash Britain and America. Using a large sum of money, he solicited the help of a famous director, and further invited a movie star, to play the part of the Qing dynasty official, Lin Zechu. The effort masticated history, as we know it, so as to suit the needs of Japanese forces, and incite hatred against the United States. So that his eldest son might one day outshine others, Jiang Shijun sent Jiang Zemin to an expensive high school, Yangzhou High School, and then later to Central University, which was run by Wang Jingwei's puppet government. From a young age, Jiang Zemin was enrolled in piano lessons. That wealth would accrue in the Jiang family at that time, and through the dealings of a traitor, no less, was most extraordinary, for those were the years when the ordinary Chinese found it's hard to just make ends meet. Jiang Zemin would live up to his father's expectations, learning to sing, dance, play musical instruments, and even know something of Peking and the Canton Opera. Although he was busy with his job every day, Jiang Shijun always found time to earnestly and tirelessly teach his son, Jiang Zemin. It was then that Jiang Zemin realized power and money get things done. Jiang Zemin knew the power of media, a weapon he had come to understand before he was even 15 years of age. Jiang Zemin has long been fond of the lashes scenery, in the life of opulence, alongside the Qinhuai River. The invading Japanese army, for political purposes, made celebrity of a Japanese actress Li Xianglan, known as the Imperial Flower. Jiang Zemin has always had trouble keeping pretty ladies off his mind, with Li Xianglan being no exception. The combination of his father's influence, and the propaganda tactics gleaned from the CCP, made Jiang Zemin an even more skilled propagandist than his father. And the money the son spent on propaganda was of course far greater. The deceit of his father hardly compares with that of Jiang Zemin, be it in scope or depth.